Hello and welcome back. I'm Joe, and this is another test for Workers and Resources Soviet Republic. Today I want to find out which truck is better. A smaller, faster truck, in this case a T-138 dumper that has a maximum speed of 70 kilometers per hour, an empty weight of 8 tons, and an engine power of 132 kilowatts. Is that a real number? Shouldn't go there. Maybe it should. Horsepower is what I expect here, but doesn't matter. But this one can transport 12 tons. 12 tons each. And then we have the BZ-252 dumper, also vanilla, can go 35 kilometers per hour, empty weight is 24 tons, and the engine power is 172 kilowatts. Well, you know that I like the bigger truck better, but is the smaller one really what you should use? Couple things really quick I want to explain. First, Forzion and I had a conversation. He told me that he actually makes money with the 12-ton trucks in the new cosmonaut mode with foreign workers. And I was like, what? Does that work? That shouldn't happen because the small truck is so much less efficient. I thought, that was my opinion, just because of this truck is half as fast, but it transports twice as much. And especially if you start with mud roads everywhere, there shouldn't really be a question. So I wanted to figure out not who's right and wrong, but just who's better, because I know that Forzion puts a lot of thought into the things that he says. So yeah, I just want to check it. So this is the test. The setup is pretty simple. We're going to move a full aggregate storage, 1,950 tons of gravel, to another storage. So the other storage facility has no unloading station. It just dumps it right there. It's relatively fast, and we have a loading station here. We have power set up, and then we have fuel inside the distribution offices. Very simple. I'm going to run 3 different tests. The first one is about 400 meters transport. The second one is about here. That's about 800 meters. And the last one will be about here. That's 1,800 meters, because I thought distance probably makes a difference, because a faster truck driving for longer distances is probably better than a slower truck driving for long distances. And there are a couple of things that are very, very interesting. I will tell you that. But the other things that we're comparing is just the 3 basic roads. We have the mud road here. Maximum speed is 35. That's the max speed of the big truck, not the small truck. Then we have gravel road. Max speed is 60, and then we have asphalt road. The max speed is 110. Yeah, 110. I could have also put panel road in there, which has a max speed of 80 kilometers per hour. This is a new road, so you could use that if you wanted to. But I just felt the 3 different ones, and the T-138 dumper will max out at 70 kilometers per hour, and that is not the gravel road, but any road after that will do it. So if you do asphalt or panel here, it doesn't make a big difference. Faster truck is probably better on the asphalt roads. But that's a setup. And how about we just let these guys move? And don't worry, I'm not going to let you see or make you watch everything. But there were some interesting things happening. So let's let these run for a little while. As you can see, we're now on a long distance here. I wasn't going to show you everything, but, well, everything. I will show you all the numbers. Don't worry, we'll get to that. But something that I wanted to point out here is on the left side, this is this aggregate storage, 1,750 tons of gravel. This is it's almost 2 kilometers long. It's 1,800 meters distance that they have to travel. And this side is transported by these 25-ton trucks that can only go 35 kilometers per hour. I was surprised to see that even at a relatively long distance like this, I mean, what is long for you? I don't know, but this feels long for a truck in this game. Just my opinion. I felt that this was a really long distance. So I was surprised to see that the bigger truck is still moving more material in the same amount of time. Don't forget, these all start at the same time with the same settings, with same everything. And they get here, and yeah, they're 200 tons ahead of the 12-ton trucks, so they can move material a lot faster. This effect is increased the closer you are to the source. Meaning they got done really fast if the storage was here. They got done relatively fast if the storage was here. And they will get done first if the storage is this far away. And that is true for all roads because they only go 35 kilometers per hour. I feel like that is still interesting, although I will point out that we have the same amount of trucks. There's 6 dumpers of the big ones and always 6 dumpers of the small ones. Technically, you should only need 3 of the big trucks versus 6 of the smaller trucks. You know what I'm trying to say. 3 of the 25-ton trucks versus 6 of the 12-ton trucks. It's maybe a better comparison, but I wanted a head-to-head comparison, and usually the spaces that you have available for your trucks is the main limiter. So 6 versus 6 felt better than a 3 versus 6, because on a 3 versus 6, you probably see the 12-ton trucks win. But that's not the whole story. That depends what you're running here. It also depends on how you want to manage your traffic. And this may or may not be important to you, but with the new Cosmonaut mode, traffic at the border post is very, very important. And if you know that 6 small trucks are faster than 3 large trucks, maybe you do want the extra vehicles on the road. Maybe you don't care about that and you only want to use the big trucks because you want to have less traffic for the same amount of transported. I hope you get what I'm saying. It is not a simple comparison because a lot of factors go into this and a lot of things that you care about will also go into this. So that's all I want to say here. Let's jump into the numbers. So setup, this is important. First, there's a starting fuel tank. The 25-ton truck has 178.88 in the tank, and the 12-ton truck has 137.28. I think there's a small deviation between the trucks that you get, but this is the starting fuel that you get. Then I wanted to know what the full fuel tank is. It's this. And then the starter fuel total that we have with 6 trucks at each distribution office, so we can know how much fuel we actually used, okay? And then the tests, the 12-ton trucks, for whatever reason, the distribution office would only move up to 1,944 tons. So use that as a number to divide by, and the 25-ton trucks were moving the whole 1,950 tons. That's just a side move. Now, let's look at the actual results. And if I'm good, I can make this a little larger so you can actually read it. On the short distance, on dirt road, gravel we can probably almost ignore, but on the dirt road, the 12-ton truck used a total of 14 and a quarter tons of fuel and, well, moved 944 tons of gravel, which meant it cost 1 ton of fuel for 136 tons of gravel. That is not bad, because that still means, this is what's important to me. Let's go back to the game. That still means that if you export 136 tons of gravel versus 1 ton of fuel, then if you look at, and I always say gravel is not a good export, but 136 times 10 is 1,600. No, sorry, 1,300. Someone said that I can't do math. Math is really hard to do live on screen if I don't write it down first. But that is 1,300 ruble that you get for 1 ton of fuel that you have to run. Obviously, the truck itself also has an initial cost that you have to get back in the end. But, well, there's 1,600 per ton of fuel. And a ton of fuel is only 120 or 130 if you buy it, I guess. So you're making over 1,000 per ton of gravel that you export. Now, you have to have the space for it to actually bring it out, but that's not bad, right? And don't forget, this whole thing started because Forzion told me he was making money with foreign workers in the gravel plant with the 12-ton trucks. So, interesting. For a really short distance, only 400 meters, the 12-ton truck is not the best. The next one is the 140, or the bigger truck on the dirt road can make it for 141 tons. 141 tons per ton of fuel. So it makes a little more money on the really short distance. That shouldn't be surprising, because on a short distance, the faster speed doesn't matter, plus you have to accelerate and decelerate. So that makes sense. If you look, however, at asphalt, this number is already, it's different. I don't know what exactly runs the fuel consumption here, but these are the numbers that I got, which I found interesting. On gravel, they consume less fuel than on the other two, even though the bigger truck, the 25-ton truck, is driving slower in general. But yeah, the consumption wasn't the same. I was kind of surprised by that. I don't know if that's not just deviation or something else, but there was almost 1 ton of fuel difference here. So Keep that in mind. I don't know why that is, but it feels like dirt, maybe a little more efficient than others for the really slow vehicles, which would be cool. Good. So on really short distances, the big truck is actually better. So for most of your gravel quarry setups and really short distance setups like that, it will be just fine to just use the big truck, which is often what I do. But now let's get to the more interesting one. A medium distance, Satan's spelling. A medium distance is, well, different, and you shouldn't be surprised by that. On a medium distance of 800 meters, the 25-ton truck the 25-ton truck used a lot of fuel. Okay, makes sense. And the ratio went down to 87 tons. Sorry, yes, 87. I was thinking a German number there. 87 tons per ton of fuel, which is still, take the gravel price as 10 ruble per ton, is still $870 minus 120 for the fuel per ton of fuel, makes you still 600 profit. That is not terrible. But comparing that to the slightly faster truck, by just 400-meter difference, that's not a lot in the game. That is not even the distance of pollution that you have to stay away from your city. Just on that, you're making a lot more money, significantly more money if you use the 12-ton truck versus the 25. You would create a lot more traffic, yes, but you would make a lot more money. So if you have the room at a customs house, exporting gravel is totally worth it, especially using a 12-ton truck. So forzion is right even on the dirt road when both of them are supposed to drive the same distance. Now, you can see that there's a lot of zeros here. The distribution office was out of fuel. Okay, was completely out of fuel, which is why this number is probably a little higher than what you see. Keep that in mind. So this 101 is probably closer to the 97 that you see here, but I just wanted to point that out. There are some factors that go into this because the trucks didn't just stop. They went back to the distribution office after the last trip, and the last trip was enough to move all 1,950 tons of gravel. So that should play into that. So 97 is probably a better number to keep in mind there. But still, same is true. They are better at moving gravel for long distances than the bigger trucks. And then on the asphalt road, something happened here. It must have worked out that they had a couple free 0-ton trips, 0-ton of fuel trips, that they made a lot more money. So I'm throwing this number out because it feels a little awkward. But as you can see, the 25-ton trucks at least had a very consistent number, around 87. And the 12-ton trucks were closer to 100. Okay, so they're better at that. Now let's look at the long distances. On long distance, the road type mattered a lot more, because long distance here is 1,800 meters. On dirt road, the 25-ton truck was actually more efficient. Okay, it still made more money than the slower truck, but the slower truck used a lot more fuel. I felt that was very interesting. There were some trucks in the distribution office that were completely empty, and some that had just a little bit of fuel left. But overall, they didn't make as much money. So this somewhere in here, somewhere between 800 and 1,800 on dirt road, mind you, there is a switch over where the bigger truck becomes more efficient again. And that's important. Okay. But once you get into gravel, when you can go 70 kilometers per hour, the 25-ton truck is a little better. And the actual asphalt where you can actually drive 70 miles per hour and not 60 like on the gravel, you're making a lot more money. And here's something to note. Let's say this one was 100 and this one was, well, it's 90. So there was a difference of 10 here. There's now a difference of 20 here. And what that tells me is the 12-ton truck, I think you can see my mouse. Yeah, you can see my mouse. The 12-ton truck becomes more and more efficient the further you go away. But there will be a point when a 12-ton truck is not going to be more efficient than a train. Honestly, that point is probably very early because it can make the train very, very long and very efficient because of that. But in my case, for what I wanted to find out is if you want to export gravel in the beginning, putting a 12-ton truck to use instead of the bigger 25-ton truck is more efficient, gets you more money, and therefore makes you richer and hopefully has better exports than using the bigger trucks. The other side of this is the bigger trucks in all of these tests, in every single one, on every single road for every single distance, did move the material faster. Okay? So if you have more of them, you can get more exports done, so their capacity is higher. Their efficiency is lower, their capacity is higher. So it depends on a lot of factors that what you want to do here, but if money is your main objective, which it will be if you play Cosmonaut mode, because one of the other things is your loan is going to be capped. You're not going to have an unlimited loan anymore. Super excited about that. I don't know when you saw the episode, but it's a thing, and it's great, and I love it. But if you want to care about that, then yes, use the 12-ton truck, because everything else is just not as good for you. So there you go. That's all I want to tell you. This spreadsheet will be available to Patreons and to YouTube members, okay? I'm not giving out a lot of stuff that I can just hand out, but I'm going to hand this out to you guys if you want to play with the numbers, if you want to tell me some other things that you found. I did put the distances in here, and I did calculate the distance differences. I just don't know what to do with this number yet. I don't know what to make out of this number. It's here. You can play with it, and if you find some other correlations, that will be great. But yeah, that's all I have. I hope this was interesting to some of you. Let's go back to our actual truck setup here, and yeah, just enjoy it. Maybe something that you find interesting. I did put the gas station in the middle here just so that the trucks could actually refuel, because I knew 20 tons of fuel would not be enough in the distribution office. And I put these gas stations everywhere in the same spot, so just that it's fair. But where are we now? We are here. And as you can see on the gravel side, we've been done for a while, and the large side is just finishing up. And guess what? On the dirt road side, this one has a long way to go. So if you use the 12-ton trucks, at least use gravel roads, but I don't think that is surprising to anyone. So, in the end, which one is better? Well, the 25-ton truck moves everything a lot faster, has a higher capacity. So a one-to-one comparison of one vehicle to another vehicle, the 25-ton trucks moves things faster. Cool, that's important for construction offices and maybe imports and other things. In terms of who's better at making money, the 12-ton truck is a lot more efficient. It makes you a lot more money on all but the short dirt road setups. And that's also important because if you care about money, if you care about all your exports, and every penny counts, and well, you can see where this goes, that yes, to export, use a 12-ton truck, to import, use a 25-ton truck. Interesting, huh? How do you make a really good decision about this? I don't know, but now I'm happy that I know. Thank you for Forzion for actually telling me what this is. If you don't know who Forzion is, check him out on Twitch. He streams a lot of workers and resources, and he's in the same group of testers as I am. So you should see some newer stuff. He has a very different approach to the game than me, but also very methodical. He's more methodical, is what I'm saying. And he cares about the numbers a lot more than me. And check him out. He's a good guy. And yeah, no, that's all I have. Thank you so much for watching. Again, if you want that spreadsheet, just come by, be a Patreon for $1 a month, or become a YouTube member. I think there's also a $1 membership. I don't know. But it's not expensive. Just if you want it, just come by there and it will be great. Thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate it. And I will see you again next time. Bye-bye.